Peace unto you. Here's part 4 of my Christ adventures. So let's do a quick recap. Part 3, we left off on me giving you the original Christ consciousness in 3 days course that I wrote for myself. When I passed the Christ trials, they said I scored even higher, or pardon, they specifically said you got the highest score in Call of Duty, so I scored even higher than anyone who's ever taken the Christ trials, before and after. And immediately after my completion of that and me coming back to my body, a Christ consciousness in 3 days, we made this. We immediately put it on paper, and this is mid-teenage years, so my child mind expanded, and I was like, how am I able to reference this when I grow into Christ consciousness? And I was like this. Now, remember the 3-day course that I give in my one and only ebook titled God's Plan for Humanity, A Message from the Mountaintop? That 3-day course is the universal version of this one. This one is the raw energy, like Broly from Dragon Ball Z, just super raw power, and Goku has to train him. And the universal is the training, is like Goku training, but then if you get direct training from Broly, then you're going to be out of here because he's the legendary Super Saiyan. So Christ consciousness in 3 days, we're going to go through it, and then we'll continue with a little bit of context in between. Realms of the Beyond. Number 1. Retire descriptions of the world. Root 1. Call in source to guide you to no judgment. Root 2 of number 1. Love and accept the fact that all is one. Number 2, see all as God. Root 1 of 2, know God is all and know God is with you. Root 2 of 2, remember anything of the flesh or physical moves by your belief. Number 3, perfect love, perfect peace, perfection is source. Root 1 of number 3, if you yearn for anything, you only yearn for God. Root 2 of number 3, if you yearn for any emotion, you hold communion with God. So page 2, which is day 2, so the other one was day 1, and this is day 2. Now is the isness. So this is what day 2 looks like. And this is what day 1 looks like. Now is the isness. Number 1, move only by the will of source. Root 1 of number 1, retire the ego and remember the body, arrow pointing down, flesh is not so. Root 2 of number 1, the world, arrow pointing down, physical is not so, only source is. Number 2, when one perceives time, it serves to block receive. So there's a block, and the word receive is on top of the block, so it's higher than the rest of the sentence. So that's important. When one perceives time, it serves to receive the guidance of God. Root 1 of number 2, every hour set an alarm to speak with source. Root 2 of number 2, maintain the love of source always, in time and out. Number 3, see with the eyes of God. Root 1 of number 3, be in the love of source. Root 2 of number 3, meditate always by keeping breaths deep. Now, page 3, which is day 3, so the final day, or the third day, when the mind drifts. This is what that one looks like. When the mind drifts, number 1, forgive yourself, love again. Root 1 of number 1, see yourself as God does. Root 2 of number 1, take a few, arrow pointing down, 3 deep breaths. That's Christ consciousness in 3 days. Now, this was made immediately after I finished the Christ trials. So immediately, remember we went through the story. Yeshua asked me formally, do I want to start the Christ trials? I went through the Christ trials, returned the full-grown husky, and the so-called black man opened the door and said, you got the highest score in Call of Duty, and then I came back into my body. Immediately after that, once I processed everything, I put it in this sacred book. I got this book. It was a gift from my sister. She went on a very big spiritual journey to get this book, and she gave me this book at it was the most synchronistic time. Because my sister is a medicine woman and I am a medicine man. That means greetings, how you doing, my friend, in the language of Sika. That's Blackfoot, Native American, Native Indian. So when she was deep in her medicine woman journeys, she said, Spirit told me to give you this book. It's going to be really important for your journey. My sister gave me this. So now there's some context that helps, or as we say, serves for you to have to assist you with why I got targeted. Because remember, we slightly mentioned that I got targeted. And they dress up in all red. So let me explain to you what was happening during this time. So before, I put everything to paper, and immediately after, I put everything to paper and I locked it down. So because this is called sigil magic, and Tupac knows this very much well. So sigil magic is extraordinarily powerful when you anchor the fact that symbols are power, and there is 1,000 interpretations from a singular image, plus 1,000 plus interpretations of a singular image. And the true interpretation, this is why Yeshua in the Gospel of Thomas saying one, the one that gets the true interpretation of these sayings will not taste death. We understand these things, right? Because you live symbolically. Everything about you is a symbol. You represent something, because symbols represent things. Now, before I was going through all of this, specifically with the Christ trials and everything, I was very, very deep into the Kemetic divinations, right? Or the divinity of Mesopotamia and Egypt, and the Library of Alexandria, why that exists, why they focused on having the library, why did the library get burned down? Why is Egypt across all ancient writers, the ancient writer Celsus, the ancient writer Pliny the Elder, the ancient writer Josephus, all of these ancient writers, they are saying that Egypt is the chief source of magic, quite literally, and that many people got their magic from Moses. That's what the ancient writers are saying. So people say Moses is one of the few people that in history we don't have any concrete proof about, yet these ancient writers are just talking about him freely, saying that people get like certain sects of the Egyptian mysteries got their lineage and their start in magic directly from Moses' authority, including Yeshua. And you're like, what? Yeah, so you put all these, I was very, very interested. So I started to do deep meditations, and I utilized my ability to go to the astral world because Ryan Cropper taught me at age 13. I utilized that ability to go to the astral world to explore and find these answers. That was me seeking, because even Yeshua says, first seek, right? First seek the kingdom of heaven. So I'm seeking the truth, because the kingdom of heaven is the truth. The kingdom of heaven represents truth. And I stumble upon Ra, the sun god. Now, this is a little bit before and after, because I'm working with Ra before and after this. So I'm working with Yeshua and Ra and the native tribes, Siksika, which is Blackfoot, or the Blackfeet Confederacy. Like, I'm working with Galactic Federation of Light. I'm working with them. Mother Sophia. I'm working with her. I'm working with a lot of spirits in the Barbello. There's a lot of spirits that I'm working with. The names that I name is like, oh my gosh, he knows the names. He must be. Yes, I am the one. And I was a kid though, and that's why, as a kid, my energies were experiencing everything in its pure innocence. That's why I was able to reach these levels. And I started to sun gaze with my left eye, because I later found out, fast forward to today, years later, I found out why the left eye is so important. The left eye is directly connected to the right hemisphere of the brain. The right hemisphere of the brain is for creativity, imagination, and your spiritual awareness and spatial awareness. The left hemisphere is for language processing and that soldier-like mindset. In our documentary that we posted on YouTube called A Black Man's Hero, if you type in A Black Man's Hero documentary, I'm the only one that even has the boldness for that title. My stuff is going to pop up because I'm the only one to have that title, A Black Man's Hero. You're going to see the documentary, and you're going to see the before and the after. And the after is my left hemisphere, and the before is my right hemisphere. You'll know exactly what I mean when you watch it. You'll be like, the right hemisphere, he's saying the before, he's much more spiritual and elegant, wearing his spiritual garb. In the left hemisphere, he's wearing literally red camouflage like a soldier, and he's very brash and not really caring about what he's saying, but he knows what he's saying is the truth. So going back, I understood why the left eye was so important, so I only sun gazed with my left eye. Right, so this part, Christ conscious, the Christ Adventures Part 4 is going to be longer than others. So I only sun gazed with my left eye. So I would literally like this, as if I'm looking through a telescope. And then I would use my hand as a telescope. And when you do it like this, you will find out that the way your hands are set up when you do this, it can formalize shapes, diamonds, circles, triangles, all different types of shapes. If you match it up, you can even have the shape of Africa. All of these shapes, right? And then I would sun gaze like this. Hours, days, weeks, months. And I got so good, I call it, as one of my 24 abilities, one eye or color reading. I would literally, I can close my eyes literally, and my wife is a testament for this. When I went to go get my temps, because I don't have my driver's license yet, but I got my temps. When I got my temps, they have you looking with both eyes. When I looked with my left eye, there is this energy ball, and I could barely see like the letters because the energy ball is blocking the letters. And anytime I focus on the energy ball, it changes colors. And I could kind of match it out because if I kind of look over here, the energy ball goes over there, and then the letter stays. I can look at the letter real quick before it shoots back. And my wife was like, "What was that about? Why can't you see with your left eye?" I was like, "I can't see with my left eye." Then I told her, remember, I got targeted, and I was telling you a little bit of the story. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." And I was like, "Oh," she was like, "Oh, that's real." I was like, "Yeah." So the left side is incredibly important. And this is why when you look at Queen Nefertiti and all of these other queens of ancient Kemet in Egypt, when they sun gaze, they're literally sun gazing with individual eyes, and the left eye for sun gazing. You would notice that. You're like, what in the world? Yeah, it's like next level. So I was going really, really deep into it. And I still, like, when I look at it right now, literally I see the ball is on top of my nose. It's like a energy ball right over top of my nose. This is about this big, like this big. And from this, I started to catch attention of spirits, and I would notice them, but they didn't really press the matter because I was working with Ra, the Sun God. I'm a Christ. Even before I completed the Christ trials, they knew this person's he's going to be untouchable. When I completed the Christ trials, then I utilized sigil magic, and I actually teach this in my mystery school. If you click the link in our bio, you click our mystery school, House of the Mystics in Wales. It currently housed on Patreon, subject to change. If you go to collections, that's all the collections, you'll see like sacred teachings. If you click that, you'll scroll down and you'll see a free class, like a free 2-hour plus class, and it's how to create portals. And I teach you everything I did that I'm telling you now. So I already have a whole class dedicated to what the sigil magic is. I'm just telling you what I did. It was 33 symbols in rows of 11, and the symbol I used was the I symbol. So I used the I symbol. I wrote the I symbol 33 times in rows of 11, and then I wrote sentences next to it because the I represents the I. So instead of me writing I like that, I would draw the symbol I and then be like I da 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 I da 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 I referencing myself, right? And then I sign my name at the bottom of my. There's a spiritual name, and your name has weight. And if you understand that your name is spiritual, you sign your name at the bottom, signature style, and I hung it up on my wall. Now, during this process, me hanging on my wall, when I did that, I didn't, mind you, I'm being naive because I'm a child still. So you may be thinking, oh, he's doing all of this because he knows the outcome. I don't know anything that's about to happen. How I even got around to doing the sigil magic is I was listening to Tupac, I was listening to Lisa Left Eye. You might be like, Tupac and Lisa Left Eye, where did they come from? Tupac and Lisa Left Eye, Tupac is one with me. However you want to see that, that's how you see that. But Tupac literally is one with me. This is going to make much more sense when we get later into the story, but it's going to get very, very, very deep when I tell you what's happening. So, I was watching interviews from Lisa Left Eye talk about Tupac and how he would never, and if ever, super rarely, but always, he used the symbol I for the letter I, and he always, anytime he could write in a symbol, like if he was talking about love, he would just write the heart instead of the word LOVE. He will always use symbols, and I will post his Machiavelli album paper that he actually drew to prove what I'm saying. So oh snap, this class is super deep. That's why it's gonna be the longest, because I'm gonna say a lot of things that you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. These are my true Christ adventures. So then, this is after I hung up the sigil magic, going through the Christ trials, completed everything, and now I'm in this frequency. I started to notice a lot of spirits looking at me. I remember one day I was walking. I took a walk. I was living in 582 Postwoods Drive in Reynoldsburg, Ohio. I took a walk. If the door for 582 Postwoods Drive is behind me, we're the only house in Postwoods with the railing. For that right there, we go out a little bit. Probably if you go out 10 yards, you turn to the left, you'll see a big opening. That's where the track is. That's Civic Park. You'll go down Civic Park. There's a big trail. It's like a 2-mile trail. I would go take daily walks on that trail, and because the kids would call me Happy Feet, Happy Feet, Happy Feet. They call me Happy Feet because I walk so much. And I remember one day I took a walk on the trail, and there was this Somalian, Ethiopian, one of the two, and she had her whole garb on, but I seen something was off about her energy. And she seen me, and this is me in the height of all of this. So sigil magic, Christ consciousness, all of that. I'm in that frequency. She looked at me, we're walking, and then she was like, she walked all in the grass all the way around me to just not even be in my bubble, because it's like my whole aura was like a big bubble. So I started to notice these beings, right? When I hung up the sigil, the moment I hung it up, the 33 eyes, so the 33 eyes in rows of 11. The moment I hung it up on my wall, things started to change, and I noticed that somebody, like, there was this dude, this big, tall black man, so-called black man, but his eyes were so dark and deep, and he looked like Pitbull. His eyes screamed Pitbull like a dog. And he would have these lines of kids, look like they were chained up, walking behind my house, circling my house. All of these kids, like he was symbolically telling me they want my inner child. They want you, child. Like, this stuff goes really, really deep. Why do you think Kendrick Lamar and They Not Like Us, in the video when he was with Dave Free, they were shaking hands and they were dancing. They were in the shipyard. All of the containers had air conditioners inside the containers because they put kids in the air conditioners. The kids in the containers. And the air conditioners cool down the kids while they're traveling and shipping the kids to, you know what I'm saying? So the kids were involved. It was super deep. I uncovered something that they did not know I was supposed to uncover because I created a portal on paper. And that's why I teach it in my class, because they don't want me to teach it. And they for damn sure didn't want me to tell you this. Because the reason why I say they quote unquote for damn sure, because damn is a curse word. So they curse people. And from their curses, that's how some people are afraid of the knowledge. But the thing that they didn't expect was for me to achieve the knowledge before they could even try or attempt to curse. And then now they was frantic. And this is when I started to get targeted. Because after, mind you, I only did the sigil magic and everything because I learned that Tupac, through Lisa Left Eye, was doing all of this stuff, right? Only speaking in symbols when he writes. And that I'm going to pull it up on the screen again. It's very, very deep. So then, when I hung it up, certain days I would just go walking, and I seen that dude again, the Pitbull eyes. I seen Pitbull eyes, big, tall, big, heavy set, like beer belly, tall so-called black man. One day he was standing outside on his back porch, and I and my sister were standing on our back porch, and I'm talking to my sister about my findings, about the Tupac stuff, about Lisa Left Eye, about me somehow being connected to Tupac. At the time, I didn't know how deep it was. I was just saying, I just did the sigil magic thing. I hung it up. One eye aura color reading. I'm reading her aura. She was like, "What aura? What color am I? This and this." That time when I was reading her aura, we was in the kitchen, and I got it right. She closed her eyes. All right, what color is my aura? Yellow, correct. Blue, correct. This color, correct. That color, correct. So. After After I started getting deeper into it, right? Then me and my sister were on our back porch, and after me and my sister, gotta check the potatoes real quick. Hold on, y'all. Um, Me and my sister were talking, and okay, we're back. Okay, so we were on a back porch. Me and my sister were talking, and I'm telling her about the Tupac stuff. I'm telling her about all of these things that I'm finding. I'm telling her about all of these things, and then out of nowhere, that pit bull dude with the pit bull eyes on his back porch. So it's either one, no, it's two houses down from us. If it's not two houses, it's one house. I think it actually is one house. I think he used to live in Tone's house because the house at the very, very end was the short house. He didn't live in the short house. Somalians lived in the short house. So he was one house down from us to the left, or the back of 582 Postwoods Drive. And then, all of a sudden, he screamed out, "Yo, Tupac! Yo, Tupac! Tupac!" He started screaming it. Mind you, right after I hung it up, I'm talking to my sister about this. I acknowledged him with my frequency because I heard it. And when he said it, my eyes got big. He just called me Tupac. So then, me and my sister talking. I'm like, ignore him. We walk inside. I said, come on, let's go inside. And then that is the start of my being targeted. I haven't really told everybody the full start. That's when it started. When he called me Tupac. Then, anytime I'm doing research, because I was still watching YouTube videos trying to dive deeper, because when he said it, I said, what is my connection with Tupac? So I go to this bar to look up Tupac stuff, look at Least Left Eye. Then I found Dr. Sabi, because Least Left Eye was connected with Dr. Sabi. This is when my reality broke. I'm watching the video of Dr. Sabi. Now, he likes to talk in Honduras in his language. And he would like start it off in Honduras. He has all of these videos on YouTube where he's just purely speaking in his native tongue. Then he would talk in English a little bit. But then I remember one day I was watching a video. This is like a few days before or after. I think it was after though. I'm watching the video from Dr. Sabi talking. And I kind of drift my eyes and he was like, yo, Tupac. Dr. Sabi in the YouTube video. Tupac. And I was like, what is happening? So then I published all of the Tupac Machiavelli paper. I published it on Twitter and I just released all the information to the world. And then deleted it later because I was still scared because after I did that, it was repercussions. After I did that, that's when it was like, oh yeah, he knows, and he's willing to tell everybody, right? I'm a Christ now, so they can't even be my reality. So that's the beauty of everything. I'm just telling you a story of what happened. That was the beginning of me being targeted. And all of this is because they want to, remember they told me they target the ones that could be another Messiah. Remember they told me that. So because of this energy, now I feel like I'm in a battle zone. Because different people are living in Postwoods that are not supposed to live in Postwoods. One day I took a walk and all my friends no longer lived in Postwoods with different people. I literally created a portal. When I acknowledged that I was in a different land, then I took a walk. Toward the front of Postwoods, and then I got this eerie feeling to turn around and go home immediately. I turned around, I looked up, and there was hundreds of birds circling in the sky. And then this one dude came out his house in the middle of Postwoods talking on his phone, but he was saying language and terminology that I understand. Where's your astral shield? Where's your astral shield? On the phone. I end up walking around him, all the way around, and then I started to see kids. Every time I walked past the house, kids would look out the window. Then I started to get a little pissed because I'm like, what is happening? I said some nasty thoughts. And then somebody walked out their house and said, yeah, Tupac, think like that. Yeah, Tupac. They came out the house and said, yeah, Tupac. So they attributed my hateful thoughts as me being Tupac. So where I'm thinking nasty, or I'm utilizing certain energies. And then I found out, then I fast forward to today, years later, I found out, I was talking to God the Source about this, because God the Source had to give me authorization to even tell you this story, because you know how deep it's getting. It's getting so incredibly deep. You was like, I didn't even know part 4 was going to be this deep. God the Source said, you and Tupac are one, accept that. And they wanted you to, they tried their absolute best to distance you from Tupac. Because when you actually understood what Tupac was doing, you actually understand why Tupac and Machiavelli changed his name to Machiavelli, and Machiavelli means he escaped death. Why Tupac did his album cover Machiavelli, the 3-Day Theory. It was originally called the 3-Day Theory, and I showed you that in the paper. The 7-Day Theory, he made the whole album in 3 days, and it was 4 days to mix it, 4, 5, 6, 7. And why he was on the crucifixion of the Machiavelli album, he was like, why did Lisa Left Eye Lopez
like
on the Untouchable song say that Tupac said,
when I come back,
expect me to come back like Jesus? And why are you the successor of Yeshua? Why do people quite literally call you Jesus in your childhood, saying that you were Jesus? They called you that, didn't they? Yes, they did, God the Source. Everybody joked that I was Jesus.
Expect me like you
God the Source said everything
come
is
back.
intent, because this is just your life.
Come.
You and him are connected. So then I started to ask questions to God the Source, like, am I the reincarnation of him? And God the Source said, listen, didn't you and Tupac talk in the spirit world? I talked to Tupac many times in the spirit world to get a hold of everything that was going on, why this was happening. And me and Tupac talked. But Tupac didn't talk with his mouth. I was really talking to him. He was looking at me, telepathically talking to me. So I knew we were connected, but I knew I am Nadiie and he is Tupac. But I knew that we are connected. So Tupac is in me, and I am in me, and I am in Tupac, and Tupac is in Tupac. It's the same thing Yeshua told me. Yeshua said, Yeshua is Nadiie, and Nadiie is Nadiie, and Yeshua is Yeshua. And when you allow the inner to be like the outer, and the outer to be like the inner, the above to be like the below, then you see all is one. And this is why Tupac was making the album called One Nation. And he actually has the unreleased song, One Nation under a groove, nothing can stop us now. You can go on YouTube right now and type in Tupac One Nation unreleased. You'll be like, yo, this is real. His next album, you seen in the Machiavelli paper? We're at the bottom. It says, watch out for One Nation. That was his immediate next album. In that song, he already, the true Tupac story is he already mended the East Coast and West Coast war. That's why they killed him. People think that the war was still going on. He already ended it. He already ended it and called out Diddy and called out Biggie. He already ended it. So I'm connected to that energy, and these beings wanted to sever my connection with Tupac because that's that rebel, and they know Tupac. He made the song Letter to My Unborn Child. And Tupac played the role of a spiritual father for me. That's now you start to see the connection now. That's how deep it is. He played the role of a spiritual father to me. And it gets so deep, my biological father named George Williams, the first song he ever played me was Tupac. And the song, dun 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 dun. Some say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And then my father said, live by these lyrics, listen to these lyrics. Everything is that deep, right? So then, after all of this, it got to the point where I'm starting to see all of them. So in this process, I start making an album, and I'm going to release it in my mystery school. It's an EP. It's a project titled 33's One Nation. So it's titled 33 One Nation. Me finishing the spiritual father journey. And remember, the spiritual father isn't just one individual person. It isn't just Tupac. We have the father, the source, which is nameless. Tupac is my spiritual father. I am my own spiritual father. I have many different other spiritual fathers, like my two mentors, Tone and Mr. McGrady. I have many different spiritual fathers. Remember, parents are a pair that you're renting. So a father is a role. It isn't something that has anything to do with like biology. Truly. So I'm learning from all of these different fathers. And that's why Tupac made the song "Letter to My Unborn Child." He was speaking to me. It gets that deep, and then it starts to manifest into me making this album, and you're gonna hear this EP. It's 7 songs. It's on my mystery school. I'm gonna post it by the end of today. So by the time this class is posted, it should be there, because I'm gonna package it with this post. You're gonna notice, yo, this is super deep, and I'm only going to release it in my mystery school because it is that deep. This album is ceremonial. It is. It's literally truly sound alchemy. It's just literally sound out. It's a ceremony. This album, this EP, 7 songs, right? As I'm making this project, 33s, I would open my window for bro to hear and everybody to hear me screaming at the mic the truth. And then that's when I got targeted, and that's when they all popped up all in red, and that's when the jig was up, and my sister had to prepare me the spiritual bath, and that's that whole story. So this is Christ Adventures Part 4. Part 5 is coming soon. This Part 4, remember the symbology of 4 is the earth, wind, water, fire, 4 directions. All of this is the foundation, so you can understand the context of how deep everything truly goes, and how much they didn't want me to even tell you the 3-day course that I teach, how much they didn't want me to teach. Why do you think they censored me? I posted a video on TikTok that they censored my live for public nudity when I was fully clothed. And I posted that video and it got tons of engagement, like 60 comments, like 40 plus comments, and be 60 likes, or 60 comments and 40 likes, one of the two, or vice versa. And literally, I showed it. I said, no, I'm being so serious. They really truly are censoring me, but they can't censor the truth, so because I got a big mouth. So this is Christ Adventures Part 4, Part 5 coming soon.